Welcome back to our channel, and thank you for tuning in and thank you for supporting us. But if you have not subscribed yet, please encourage us by doing so. And God bless Biafra. Ise. The Fulani slave governor of Anambra State, Professor Charles Soludo, is now in big trouble for his careless utterances against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Biafra restoration. U.S. lawyer exposed Soludo's link to Fulani CNG terrorist group. U.S. human rights lawyer Bruce Fein rejected Governor Soludo's request for the Fulani Nigerian government to take him on surety for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The U.S. lawyer said that anyone who was accepting to take the custody of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from the criminal DSS was illegally aiding and abetting a violation of the United Nations Working Group's decision, which directed that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu be released unconditionally. The IPOB U.S. lawyer maintained that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case was international and strict compliance with the United Nations Working Group was for him the only option, adding that arbitrary detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was just congenious norm of international law binding on all nations. According to Bruce Fein, the United Nations Working Group's findings that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was being arbitrarily detained in violation of 16 human rights covenants binds Nigeria. They have no escape route. Nigeria is in big trouble. The Fulani Janjaweed, Nigerian government, is looking for a way out. They are looking for soft landing. They don't want to allow Biafra go, and yet they are looking for soft landing. They cannot eat their cake and have it. And Soludo has been exposed to be working with the coalition of the Northern Group, a terrorist group, CNG, who kicked against a recent move by Igbo leaders for the unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The Council of Elders of the Apex Igbo Cultural Group had moved to organize a peace summit to address insecurity in the southeast region. The council urged the Fulani Nigerian terrorist government to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as ordered by all the courts in Nigeria. The former Abia State Governor, ŁKԳ, and Anambra State Governor, Charles Soludo, had also volunteered to stand as sureties for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu if released by fake Buhari, which shows they are conniving and collaborating with the Fulani Nigerian government. And that collaboration is being viewed as illegally aiding and abetting a violation of the United Nations Working Group's decision, which directed the Fulani Nigerian government to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu immediately and unconditionally. After the Nigerian Fulani government has been found to violate 16 human rights covenants binding on them, and now these Fulani Igbo politicians are trying to help the Fulani Janjaweed get a soft landing. The CNG spokesperson, Fulani terrorist Abdulaziz Suleiman, who reacted to the moves in a statement in Kaduna, cautioned the Fulani Nigerian jihadist government against releasing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He also accused Igbo leaders of shielding IPOB because IPOB is fighting peacefully for the freedom and restoration of Biafra. And they are the one stopping the Fulani Janjaweed for them to overrun Biafra land. Suleiman said it is unpatriotic and unreasonable for leaders to openly shield IPOB, but it is patriotic to shield mass murderers, Fulani bandits and Boko Haram terrorists. That's what he said. Because he said that separatism and realization of a separate state of Biafra is a serious crime when you put it side by side terrorism. Whereas fighting for a separate state for Biafra is done peacefully. The Fulanization agenda is done through terrorism, killing and kidnapping innocent Nigerians and Biafrans. You know, this shameless, uncircumcised Fulani terrorist leader, Suleiman, refused to condemn Fulani bandits and Boko Haram terrorists, who are mass murderers, killing and kidnapping Nigerians and Biafrans. Fulani terrorist Suleiman is very bitter that IPOB used Eastern Security Network operatives to stop Fulanization and Islamization of Nigeria and Biafra land. And fake Buhari is very angry as well that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu uncovered his identity when he told the world that the man in Aso Rock is not the real Buhari but Jubrin. And this got the Fulani Janjaweed very angry because it frustrated their agendas, especially in Biafra land. Because they thought they could use deception to force their way through and grab lands in Biafra. But all those failed after Mazi Nnamdi Kanu exposed fake Buhari. You know, the Fulani terrorists are afraid that this renewed determined pressure from the Igbo leaders is part of a wider plot to see through secession of the southeast region from Nigeria. They are so afraid of Biafra leaving the zoo called Nigeria. So afraid. Yet, they keep oppressing and dominating Biafrans, using their compromised military and police. You know, the Fulani terrorists are now the ones threatening fake Buhari not to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu because they understand and they know that if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is released unconditionally today without getting a commitment from him to denounce Biafra, which he will never do, then it will be all over for the zoo called Nigeria, because the United Nations will have no other option than to conduct a United Nations supervised Biafra referendum. They will conduct it immediately. And fake Buhari and the Fulani Nigerian government and the Fulani Caliphate knows this. They know it. And that is why they are running from pillar to post. All their evil and wicked plans have all failed. Even the Igbo governors and politicians that are collaborating with the Fulani Janjaweed to oppress Biafrans in exchange for political powers and looting of their state treasury will have nowhere to hide and nowhere to run to. The Fulani Caliphate may have succeeded in imposing political, traditional, cultural leaders in Biafra land to help them in their Fulanization agenda. But Mazi Nnamdi Kanu came and exposed all their evil and wicked plots against Biafrans and Nigerians. Thank you, my brothers and my sisters, for watching this video. And bye-bye for now.